dances round. Long ball, goes across to Buckman, puts it on the toe. He kicked through, followed through, regathered. It's catch, drop, scrum. Scored the try. And the flags go up. Mix up, hit the foot race, hit the head of Barber. Will he get there? I think he got there.
Well, the top five is all locked away and the finals are just around the corner. Who will take out the 2014 Intrust Super Cup? Only time will tell. Hello and welcome to the Full 80, a complete overview of the Intrust Super Cup and Ipswich Rugby League competitions. My name's Ben Dobbin and today, once again, I'm joined by the best in the business. Greg Jacko Lyons, Marketing Manager for the Ipswich Rugby League Club. G'day, Jacko.
G'day, Dobbo.
Yeah, mate, we've got royalty as well. Joel Miles, Captain of the mighty Fastlefern Bombers. G'day, Joel. Thanks for being with us.
Dobbo, how are you, mate?
Good. Super Coach Ben Walker from the Luxury Paints, Ipswich Jets, and the man that never sleeps because, you know what, every week he's out there just trying to find a yarn. The cheap league writer for the Courier Mail, Peter Bedell. G'day, Pete.
Hey, Dobbo.
How are we, men? Listen, let's get straight into the final week that we just had. Round 26 is all and locked away in the home and round season for 2014. It was a season that many won't forget. Big results, plenty of opportunities for teams to get ahead. Last weekend, the Tweed Seagulls defeated the Mackay Carters. Jacko, what a game of football.
Mate, what a game. The Carters, last year's premiers, turned up to play football and they just about rolled Tweed Heads. And at one stage it was 22-20 in the Carters' favour. But unfortunately, Richardson for the Seagulls got over and got that win for him. But yeah, pretty shaky and a couple on report too.
How would you have been if you were PNG? Because obviously with the results, Ben Walker, if Mackay had beaten the Tweed, PNG, I think by 12 points or more, PNG then jump into 5th spot.
Yeah, well, PNG would have had the beers on ice ready to have Mad Monday, and at the same time they would have had the the Seminade out ready to start training as well. So it was a bit of a on the fence situation for them, I guess. But fortunately for Tweed, they got up and they snuck into the finals.
Yeah, we'll talk about that game against the Luxury Paints, Ipswich Jets, this Sunday. Burleigh Bears defeated the Northern Pride. Peter Bedell, I tipped the Pride. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, Dobbo, look, this has thrown the competition wide open, hasn't it? I mean, if you're a coach like Ben Walker or the other finals coaches, you're now thinking you're a real chance in this competition. I mean, the Pride, it's deja vu, it's Groundhog Day. Last year they lost in the final round, went into the finals as the minor premiers, went out the back door. They go in as minor premiers again. They'll have the week off, but to lose this game to Burleigh, who have had a disappointing season, that's a real kick in the guts for them on the eve of the finals. So if you're Jason Dimitri, you'd be a bit concerned.
Yeah, South Logan Magpies defeated the Sunny Coast. Expected, Joel?
Yeah, mate. Wooden Spooners, Sunshine Coast, they come down to Davies Park and improved effort from last week. But, yeah, South's too strong, mate. So.
Yeah, they have been. They've had a pretty good season. The winner Manly Seagulls, they defeated the East Tigers 18-14 in a fantastic game of football. The North Devils, they defeated the CQ Capras 56-6. It's been a hard year for the Capras. But the match that we were all talking about and we all covered, the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets, they defeated the Redcliffe Dolphins 30-24. Mate, a few... I suppose tough moments as a coach. It was at 6-0 down or 4-0 down with 5 to go at before half time. You wouldn't have been happy.
Oh, we weren't panicking, that's for sure. We defended really well in the first half, but at 4-0 we sort of thought it's only a matter of time before the boys clicked in. And fortunately, just before half time, Carlin Anderson, as he often does, snuck over from the right hand side to the left and set up a try, which put us 6-4 at half time. And at that point, we just said to the boys at half-time just to relax and get back into our rhythm and play the way that we know we can play. And in 12 minutes, we put on 4 or 5 tries in the second half.
Hang on. Marmon Barber put them on. It was Marmon Barber 24, the Redcliffe Dolphins 4 at one stage.
Yeah, he's outstanding, Marmon. He's got plenty of speed and he knows how to sniff out a try. So, yeah, as I say, in 12 minutes, we put on 4 tries and put them to bed pretty well. So it was a good performance in the second half, a little bit shaky early on, but... we're certainly in good shape coming around to the semis.
Any truth that the blow-up at half-time by yourself in the change rooms as a supercoach, was there any truth to that?
None whatsoever. No, we're normal.
I saw some steam coming through into the press box at half-time, Benny.
Not at all, no.
Wasn't yours?
Not at all, no. We're both fairly calm in the sheds at half-time, you know, regardless of where we are. So it's just more about just getting them relaxed and giving them the self-belief and showing them that they just have to relax and they'll get the job done.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at next week's round as well. That's not far away. In the Ipswich Rugby League competition, Joel, The mighty Fassifern Bombers. You're playing Southern Depth against Goodna, and you defeated them. I think the score, if you have a look at it, 24 points to 18. They got to 18-0, and the Bombers, you just came back and got away with a win. Yeah, mate, we were pretty stoked to get the win. We did it the hard way, though. We end up having to take them up the middle, which is exactly the opposite of what we planned. We sort of wanted to throw it around and run around a bit, but it just wasn't working. So we probably defended for, I think, 30 minutes out of the first half. And yeah, we sort of went into half time 2 points down, and we were pretty pumped to be in that situation. And just fitness come through, and we rolled them from there. It was a good game of football, boys. I mean, it followed the Intrust Super Cup, and it was a fantastic game. We saw a great game with Ipswich Redcliffe, and then for it to see that, a fantastic game of football.
Yeah, it was. I know our guys hung around after our game to watch it, and they were talking about it yesterday. I spoke to a few of them, and Carly played for Fassifern, and obviously he played for us this year, so there was a bit of interest there. But yeah, they were all talking about the game, and it's good to see Fassifern go through and to play Brothers, a bit of a grand final replay from a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's a good competition, and we all enjoy watching it. Yeah, we do. Mike Newton, he'd be very happy. Norse defeated Brothers 36 points to 30, and they're through to the grand final. So this round will be Brothers playing the Fassifern Bombers on Sunday. That's going to be a clash. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, mate. We had some pretty epic battles this year, and yeah, this won't be any different, eh? Yeah. You ready to roll? Yeah, we're ready to roll, mate. Just got a week of training and just try and keep the boys settled, and should be right, I reckon. Yeah, still to come, plenty more after the break. A fantastic interview with a Queensland cricket great that once played for the Ipswich Jets. And Peter Bedell, he'll be talking to us about the crusher tackles. You're watching The Full 80, a break, and back with more. Back to The Full 80. Dirk Tasler is known for his fast left-hand bowling for Queensland and the Surrey Cricket Club in England. But did you know he once played for the mighty Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets? We caught up with him earlier this week. Have a look at this.
Thanks, Dobbo. We're down here tonight at the Ipswich Jets training session, as you can see in the background. We caught up earlier with a former Jets player, Dirk Tasler, who played in the centres for the Ipswich Jets between 1983 and 1984. Here's the interview. Dirk, so obviously the Jets have come a long way since you played here in 83, 84. What are the differences now to back then?
Well, Zach, I still get to some of the games, some of the home games, so I've noticed obviously the game's faster, and obviously the weights they do training now, so we never seen a weight in our life when we were playing, so unfortunately I had a physical job as a builder, so I think I sort of made up for it there. But yeah, so certainly the pace of the game and the interchanges, there's a lot more interchanges where we were sort of once we're off, we're off.
So obviously now that you have the Broncos and like the bigger clubs now, obviously Alfie Langer and all that started playing around here as well where you were playing. What was that like playing against the Origin greats, I suppose?
Yeah, that was terrific. It was I'd play 83, 84, so it was pre-Broncos, and it was 3 years into State of Origin. So I was playing against guys like my first game in particular was one I'll never forget, was against Souths, and I was in the centres, and my opposition was Mal Meninga and Jackson. So it was a good introduction to what the BRL was all about.
All right, so Dirk, now there's talk about the introduction of new clubs into the QRL, with Fiji putting in a bid, and also Townsville. There's speculation about that. What do you think this will do for the QRL?
Well, I don't think they're going to expand the NRL any further at this stage. So expanding the Intrust Cup competition, I think it's fantastic. Townsville are a great community. They're a great rugby league community. Fiji, an exciting sporting country as well. So it just makes for a better competition, I think.
Obviously, this also gives the younger fellas a really good go, like developing their skills and trying to get their way into the NRL.
Exactly. There's no one that's going to be missed, I don't think. If it's like that now, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be tough for Ipswich, I guess, who will have to really try to get guys from their own community rather than bringing other players in. So every team will be sort of a strong region.
So moving on to sort of more of a community sort of base now, Ipswich Jets have really a lot of community events throughout the year, like the Kim Walters Choice Day. They also have the Old Boys Day. What do you think these sort of events do for the community of Ipswich?
Well, it's a great thing to raise money for those causes, and they're great causes as well. To get the old boys together it's great as well. We probably don't see each other that often, and just to have an afternoon together is a nice occasion.
Make sure you check out the Ipswich Jets this weekend in the semi-final. You're watching the Full 80. Back to you, Dobbo.
Yeah, really good story on Dirk Tasler, and it just goes to show the Ipswich Jets have got plenty of famous old boys. On Saturday afternoon, a dreadful incident occurred in a Fogs match where Ipswich Jets player by the name of Ben White looks like to have sustained a broken back from a crusher tackle, which we come to the point of the talking point and the crusher tackle. Before we go into the crusher tackle, just give us an update, Ben, on how he is.
Yeah, I spoke with Ben this morning. He broke his T9 and 10, but he is going to be okay. He's getting around, albeit slowly. But it's an unfortunate situation. He was actually going to play for us on the weekend, and we told him 3 hours before that he was just to have a game in the Fogs. And unfortunately, he got the incident, and he'll be out now for the rest of the season. And whether he plays again, we're not sure.
Yeah, it gets me talking, gentlemen, and all of us are involved in rugby league. The crusher tackle, and from a coaching point of view, Ben, have you taught players to tackle? Is this a part of the wrestling things that have come forward in the last, I suppose Melbourne Storm started it 10 years ago, and it's just flowing on. Like, we've had the chicken wing, we've had the squirrel grip, we've had everything. Yep. But is this the crusher tackle? It's really dangerous. It's getting banned at NRL level. It's obviously caused an injury. How has it come? Do you guys as coaches talk about this tackling technique?
Yeah, we do talk about it a lot, and as coaches we've brought it up with the Queensland Rugby League before, and we've been concerned for a number of years with this tactic, and it's certainly not coached. It definitely doesn't get coached at the Ipswich Jets. It doesn't. I don't think it's come from the QRL. I think there's no doubt it's come from the National Rugby League, and there's certain clubs that are probably a little bit better at wrestling than others. You tend to see the teams that are affiliated with those clubs in the National Rugby League in the Intrust Super Cup. They're the ones that are the best wrestlers in the competition, in our competition. Yeah. It is dangerous, and we've voiced our concern on a number of occasions, and unfortunately they're still getting away with it. But it's all a wrestling tactic, and if it goes wrong, you can see what happens.
I was going to say, Ben, the thing is, how do we get rid of it? Because I read something interesting the other day where John Cartwright talked about wrestling in the game, and we have wrestling coaches these days, and the Titans have a jiu-jitsu coach. I can't even say that. But his point was karate. We'll say karate. Yeah. But the point he was making was, it's one thing for wrestling coaches to teach players certain manoeuvres, but the advantage is, and we often don't think about this, is that it can actually teach players how to get out of certain situations when they're in a dangerous position, how to land, how to fall. If the coaches aren't coaching it, how much responsibility do the players take when a player is coming to the ground, they've got their back to the defender, they can't see what's going on? How much responsibility does the tackler have to take in making sure the player lands safely?
I think there's a real duty of care from the tackler, because they're all, especially at the top level, they're very aware of their body in certain situations. So I find it hard to believe that the defenders don't know what they're doing in that situation, because if on the flip side, when they've got the ball, they're acutely aware of where the defenders are. So as a defender, they know where the attacker is and what situation and what position he's in. So I've seen a number of tackles from NRL clubs that make you cringe, and I know for a fact they're being taught wrestling moves, but if it goes wrong on a footy field, which can happen, we've seen the situation this year where Alex obviously broke his neck, and now Ben's broken his back from a wrestling tactic. So It's unfortunate. I really don't encourage it, and unfortunately it's in the game. I just wish they'd start playing with a bit more skill rather than relying on a wrestling tactic to win your game.
Joel, IRL, are you seeing these kind of wrestling tactics come into your competition?
Yeah, mate. I think it's just the speed of the game. It's sort of you try to slow it up as much as you can, and you see other teams trying to get them around the head, and it really does slow you up. I've been in a couple myself, and there's nothing you can do. All you've got to hope for is that they let you go and you can stand up.
That's a big thing.
It's pretty worrying sometimes, the positions you get into, and I think they've really got to look at any contact above the shoulders is sort of, it's got to be cut out, I think.
Well, Jacko, the referees are starting to ban shoulder charges, they've banned punching, and now they're starting to enforce the crusher tackle. Do they need to take more control on the field and make them a send-off straight away?
I think they've got to create that position where automatically it's a send-off, because there was a couple in that East Wynnum game. One wasn't even, it was a penalty, but there was no report done on it. But, you know, they're dangerous, and, you know, I think, as you said, it's coming down from the NRL. You know, I don't think any team, you know, I don't think any other QRL team would go and teach those tactics. So the guys are just saying that, it can happen. But, you know, they're dangerous and they've got to be stopped straight away.
Well, I'm not sure whether it's coached in other teams, because we obviously only look after our guys. But, you know, in the semi-finals this year, we've got Northern Pride and East, and they're the best exponents of the wrestle. There's no doubt. And they've run 1 and 3 this year, so maybe there's merit in it. But, you know, we like to rely on our skill and the way the boys play to win games. Unfortunately, we're going to come up against those guys if we win this week. And unfortunately, I know that we'll have our heads screwed off, and that's just the way they play. So
part of the deal.
Part of the deal.
Worrying signs.
It really is.
Worrying signs for rugby league. We need to move on from that. After the break, we're going to preview week 1 of the Intrust Super Cup finals and the IRL Southern Death semi-final, Brothers versus the Bombers. It is on Sunday. We're going to preview it. Jets Old Boys event on the weekend. We've got a beautiful piece on that. Stay tuned. A break and back with more. Welcome back to the Full 80. Last Saturday afternoon, many of the Jets alumni invaded North Ipswich Reserve for the Old Boys Luncheon. The Full 80 crew were there to capture everything. Have a look at this great package.
The Ipswich team's Old Boy Luncheon gives former players a chance to catch up with their teammates from the past, talk about the game as it was and how it is today.
The game's changed. I mean, it's probably a lot cleaner now, the game. It was a bit rougher probably back in our day, but I'm sure the tackling's just as fierce, but I think it might have been a bit more skullduggery back in those days.
While some former players see these changes as a good thing, other old boys say they miss the old attitude when the game was taken less seriously.
We probably had more fun back in those days, I think, because it was a little bit more, there's no cameras on mobile phones everywhere, so we might have got away with 1 or 2 things that the players today can't or shouldn't be doing. We probably shouldn't have been doing them either, but we didn't get caught, so it was just good fun. It was a more casual and relaxed type competition back then, I think, so yeah.
And what do you think about the fact that it is taken more seriously, even on this level, even in a community setting these days? Do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing that people are asked and trained to take the game more seriously?
I think it's both good and bad. I think that a lot of certainly the elite players and even at the Queensland Cup level, people get recognised, particularly around a town like Ipswich if they live out locally here. So, you need to have your privacy and still be able to not do things illegally, but perhaps to be a little bit naughty from time to time when you're out on the town or whatever the case might be. So, I don't advocate, going out and bluing and what have you, but certainly you've got to enjoy yourself without people harassing you, I suppose, when you're out and about. So it's very professional and serious these days, and I think that perhaps they need to take a little bit of a step back and have a look at themselves from time to time.
No matter how much the game has changed over the years, all of the old boys agree it's the community spirit that drives a team to the win.
Oh, any community that gets behind the side will help a side. And we're just lucky Ipswich was crying out for a side to go into I suppose you could say not a national competition, but a competition that was up there. And I myself and I know the boys too really appreciate Ipswich getting behind. Like, we used to get 4,000 to 5,000 people here a game. So that's a lot of people, and that just shows the spirit of Ipswich. They were crying out for a side and they got one. So.
Whether it be the increased professionalism of the game or the strong community spirit backing the players, the Ipswich Jets have made it into the semi-finals, and the old boys were proud to watch the legacy continue on the field.
All right, so Ben, obviously you're through to the finals now. How does it feel?
Oh yeah, it's good, I guess, but we didn't really play too well today. But at the end of the day, Zach, we just needed to win the game, and we've done that, so we're guaranteed ourselves a spot in the semi. We can sit back tomorrow and watch Tweed play and see what happens there.
Yeah, no, great. It's bloody really good to have Monk in his last year come to the finals, and I think we've got the team to do it, so I'm looking forward to it.
So either PNG or Tweed you got to play next week. Is there one you want to play?
Doesn't matter, we're going to win anyway.
All right. Obviously, you guys had a bit of a scrappy game today. What was sort of the things you didn't really go with today?
Yeah, we just didn't complete when we had to, you know, just too many back-to-back sets and making mistakes in our own half especially, and it just led to, I guess, being tired in defence and holes opened up.
Wheeler reporting for the 480.
Well, that was a great article and a really good weekend had by all at the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets. Old boy day, even better that the Dolphins were beaten by the Jets. Now, moving forward, it hasn't happened ever in the history of Ipswich Jets. The Jets have never, ever won at the Tweed. This weekend, can we turn the tides? Can the Jets beat the Tweed Heads Seagulls on Sunday at Pigabeen, 2 p.m?
Well, I'm not too sure, Dobbo. What do you reckon?
What do you think he's
going to
say, Dobbo? Coach, I want to know how you're going to beat them.
How are we going to beat them? Well, I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll have to check who we're up against this week. Look, we've lost 13 in a row down there, so sometimes sometimes you do need to lose a few before you win. So we've lost enough there. We can probably it's probably our turn. But it'll be a cracking game. We're looking forward to it.
Can I just say, Dobbo, firstly, just to go, remember the crystal ball the other week?
Yeah,
Walks, and we talked about he never gets one wrong.
No, never.
Can you take us, Dobbo, through the crystal ball? It's got cracks all over it at the moment. Who did you tip out of the Northern Pride and Burleigh on the weekend?
I might have tipped the Northern Pride, but hang on. Listen, I actually got the 5 right. Did I not say Ipswich would be 5th, Tweed would be 4th, I said East would be 3rd, Wynnum would be 2nd, and the Pride 1st.
You're a genius.
Correct. You are crystal ball, correct. Yeah, I've got that right. Anyway, we'll get back to this. The Tweed play the Jets. Do you fear the Tweed?
No, not at all, Dobbo, and that's to be honest. We've beaten every team in the top 5. We beat Tweed at home. They beat us by 4 points down there. We don't fear anyone at all. This year we're probably playing a lot. We've made the semis 4 years in a row now, but the 3 previous years, we sort of felt that the top teams, we would have had to have played really well to beat them on their day. Yeah. But this year, we're probably in a situation where even if we didn't play our best, we'd still be a really good chance of winning. So it's a great position to be in. But Tweed will be tough. They've done it before. They've won a grand final, so they know how to get the job done.
Yeah, it should be a great clash on Father's Day. The other match, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls versus the East Tigers at the Chook Pen. Pete, will you see any difference from last week? Wynnum were too good against East. I can't see it changing this week.
Yeah, look, boys, I think this is a game of great contrasting styles, isn't it? I think the problem with East Tigers last week was they played too laterally. They've got a lot of points in them. They have put a lot of points on sides in recent weeks, and they probably were lulled into a false sense of security. I think Wynnum, what they do well, they're very methodical. They play the percentages. They roll through the middle. So you talk about styles make fights. This is going to be a great fight. I think the fact it's back at Cougar gives Wynnum the edge. But I think if East can knuckle down up the middle, they've got the guns out wide, Cameron Munstone, guys like that, Cody Walker, I think they'll get home in this game.
Yeah, Wynnum also have got Jake Granville and Jordan Carr, who they're 2 pretty good players. Moving a bit closer to the action, and we're going to talk IRL. Brothers versus Fastlefern. This is a Sunday afternoon game at 3 p.m. I know you're going to say straight away, but where do the Bombers need to be to beat Brothers?
I think Jace Connors provides all the stability for him, and I think we've got to look at trying to shut down his kicking game, I think, and just put a bit of pressure on him. But I think the game's going to be won in the forwards. Yeah. We have real tough battles all year in the forwards, and at least the first 20 minutes of each half, it'll just be whoever can grind it out and come out on top after that. So.
If you beat Brothers, are Norths beatable in the grand final?
Yeah, definitely. Brothers are probably a bit more predictable. You know what you're going to get every week from them, but Norths, they're 1 week they're real good, 1 week, they're beatable. So yeah, it's wide open anyway. Either one of us could go through, win, I reckon. So
makes for a great weekend of football. Yeah. That's full time from all of us at the Full 80. A big thank you to Jacko, Joel Miles from the Fastlefern Bombers, Ben Walker, he's the head coach of the Ipswich Jets, and our great man Peter Bomber-Badell. Thank you. Be sure to join us next week for the Full 80. Go the Mighty Jets. Bye for now.